It rises from nothing and will be dissolved to nothing. It abides to the course of nature and its own fate. Sheer dedication, loyalty, and hard work of each individual, backed by the ruler's goodwill, capability, and determination to not compromise on its masses' well being, builds an empire. There is a system in place that cannot be flawed because the roles are clearly defined with instincts and experience serving as a strategy to survive. Dating back to 100 million years of existence on this planet and marking its presence in almost all types of topography, evolution of this species is extraordinary. Ants are known for their adaptability. Their success in existence can be manifested by the fact that at any given time there are at least 1 quadrillion living ants on Earth. Today, we are going to see about weaver ants, their organized way of society and inevitable role in the ecosystem is astounding.
This is an empire of the weaver ants, one of the most aggressive, yet ambitious, disciplined, and immensely loyal to their colony and to their queen. They are one of the most dominant forms of life on Earth and also have a very advanced social structure based on the work they do. Right now, a bunch of worker ants are are here outside to check if the intruder with a phone camera is going to harm their nest. And they're very active right now. They're very alert. We were really able to get some interesting footage of the weaver ants in action. We are currently standing underneath a Saptaparni tree where these ants are forming a nest. We can see how they've formed themselves into a living chain, some sort of an arm of a construction crane. Once they are able to grab the distant edge of the leaf, they all pull in agreement in order to grab these leaves and bring them together. There are worker ants which are ready to become life staples. They will grab one edge of the leaf with their mandibles and the other edge with their legs and draw these leaves together. Most of the time, it is observed that these ants form nests into broad-leaved trees, favorite being mango, cashew nut, saptparni, where we are standing right now. Coconut is where we have observed these nests. I'm sure there are many other trees where they form their nests, and we should be able to find them today. Lovely. While we were around the resort observing different types of beaver ant nests, we came across this one nest earlier today, and because it was very windy, this nest actually got ripped apart from the bottom, and we could get some footage of the insides of it. Right now, after 2 hours, these ants have completely stitched back and made a waterproof nest for themselves. Just a couple of hours. What you can also see while we were able to shoot the the ants in trying to stitch the nest which was ripped apart, you could see these adult ants carrying these white larvae between their mandibles, delicately holding them. With their antlers, they're trying to tell them to release these silky secretion, which is actually an adhesive which holds these leaves together. Only larvas have this capability of extracting this silky secretion which helps them sew the net together. A little bit more about larvae of these weaver ants. They go through this molting process multiple times while they are a larva, and they grow these hook-like hairs. This is what is actually used for these ants to sensitively carry them in the mandibles, is the hook-like hairs which these larvae grows. Again, they have to go through this molting process multiple times because they heavily rely on adult ants for food. It's these ants who have come up with this intricating homemaking skill and using the silk secretion, which is otherwise used in order to protect the larva during the pupa stage. Every so often, it happens that a batch of reproductive male and female weaver ants are produced. They sprout wings and fly off to mate. The fertile females make a colony of their own. We can see at least 7 to 8 small or big nests of weaver ants, and I can only imagine the number of weaver ants around us at this moment. The remaining offsprings the queen produces becomes non-breeding females. This fierce sisterhood of twins would dedicate themselves in order to protect the colony's territory. They would search out for food, they would gather food, they would grapple with any invader, no matter how big, no matter how deadly, in service to Her Majesty and for the survival of the colony as a whole. These ants stay in absolute sync with each other through constant communication. They touch their antennas, they touch their forelegs. They have multiple glands to send different signals. Most importantly, the pheromone which they release sends the signal widely and quickly. Whatever the threat, these ants stand together. The first defenders would release the pheromone which would invite other sisters to the battle. The difference between humans and ants is the humans send the young ones for the battle, whereas these ants would, would send the weaklings, the old ladies, to the battle. The young ones would stay at the nest and protect the queen. That, for me, is an amazing fact. These ants have sprayed a lot of formic acid right now on this intruder, which is an invertebrate. So these ants, as predators, because of their sheer numbers and speed, they would pretty much hunt for anything large enough for them to eat. They're going to easily carry this by cutting it into bits using the formic acid. The process is already on right now. The primary reason why weaver ants leave their nests are because of leaves drying off, shrinking, and crumbling. The second reason is when the colony is growing big. A colony can grow as big as up to 5 million ants in one nest. I happened to catch hold of one fairly intact weaver ant nest, and when I'm trying to look inside and I'm trying to sort of gradually pull out leaves, I happen to feel that the silk secretion is still holding on so tight to these leaves that it's not possible for me to pull out or dismantle these nests until and unless I forcefully try and rip it apart. You can see the silk secretion still there. holding on to the dry leaves. The nest is thoroughly clean from inside, and there's barely any debris or leftovers as such. This is what ants are usually known for. They're scavengers. They pretty much take care of anything which is edible. Looking at these creepers, it reminds me how it makes it easy for the weaver ants to be able to travel from one tree top to the other without much hassle. Otherwise, they would have to take the ground route and pick the next tree, which is more tedious thing to do. In old days, even today, to an extent, there are farmers who would use threads and tie to these weaver ant nests, taking it all the way back to the fruit-bearing trees. And these legions of biters would give all their energy and effort and get rid of the fruit flies, the caterpillars, or any potential pests which are harming these fruit-bearing trees. They do it for free, and it's absolutely a blessing in disguise. We need to remind ourselves that nature has invented many ways for these small creatures to be powerful and multitude of ways for them to be smart.